Yeah, I have really been trying to understand why this Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case is so is just such a gut punch for me. Every time I hear about it, it's like somebody kicks me in my gut, and it's like I'm hearing about it for the first time. And I know, people say, well, you feel like that because it's tragic. It's tragic on both sides, but it's more.
What I've noticed is that white people do not like the fact that Carmelo Anthony is getting the same type of treatment that a young white teen would get. They can't stand it. That's where this all is stemming from. Because they now
Yes, I posted this clip few hours ago. I realized YouTube had to take it down. I had to re-edit the video. When you take a look at this, I just want to give you an update to what is going on and people's reactions on social media. Carmelo Anthony forced to evacuate homes over this. Representatives for Carmelo, the high school accused of taking away the lives of Austin at a trap met earlier this month, says he's been forced to evacuate his Texas home over repeated instances of Next Generation Action Network, which has been helping Anthony in his case since his April arrest. Claimed Monday the 17-year-old is now in an undisclosed location after he and his family have been target of these trade, continuous and fiscal intimidations. That is what exactly is going on. I'm following this whole situation to the very end. If you are new to this channel, please endeavor to.
Yeah, I have really been trying to understand why this Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case is so is just such a gut punch for me. Every time I hear about it, it's like somebody kicks me in my gut, and it's like I'm hearing about it for the first time. And I know, people say, well, you feel like that because it's tragic. It's tragic on both sides, but it's more than that. So when I think about it, it's like a huge wake up call that this is our reality. And though my heart says society can't get any worse, my mind says that according to the Bible, I know that it will. Hearing grown adults, mothers and fathers, celebrate the death of a child, this has knocked me to my knees. And I know how people are, especially black people. I've been black for 49 years, and I know how they are. But for whatever reason, this is just it's knocked the wind out of me. And I know people die every day, people get killed every day. I know this, but it's the response and the reactions to it that have really it's crushing me. My son is 16. He's about to go out into the world with these vultures. My grandchildren are 10, 5, 3, and 7 months. These people are their teachers, their doctors, their attorneys. Guys, I can't let this go. It is so disturbing to me. And I know we joke a lot about all the stupid things that the left says, but in reality, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. This is our reality. And this sucks. It just sucks. It just does. And I'm wondering, are my prayers enough for my grandchildren? Do my prayers apply to them? I'm not their parent. This is hard. This is hard. This is hard.
what I
Yes, I pray this never happens to anyone. When you look at someone like this, so emotional about the whole situation, it should tell you something. Someone asked me, why am I so interested in reporting this? I realize people don't follow stories like this. They don't put out videos. Reason I took a decision to do it. Like I said, if you've been watching me, I don't post clips linking to anything race. But when I realized the whole situation was now turning into this, we still have a very long time to go concerning this. I mean, a very long time. Like I said, I'm going to follow that up to the very end, putting out videos, every update that will be happening about it. I posted this. You didn't allow me to, really speak up about the whole situation. This lady you're about to see is totally insane.
What I've noticed is that white people do not like the fact that Karmelo Anthony is getting the same type of treatment that a young white teen would get. They can't stand it. That's where this all is stemming from. Because they now are creating a rally, talking about protect white lives from black people. When y'all trying to destiny swap real bad, because when has y'all ever had to be afraid and fearful of us? Y'all calling us a thugs. We know y'all's history in this country. We know y'all's history around the globe, okay? It is very unfortunate that a young man lost his life, but at the end of the day, people need to mind their business. Like the entitlement to thinking that you could, accost people, attack people, hurt people. We see videos of you all, those, not all, but we see a lot of videos daily. We all heard of Karen culture. Minding people's business, up in people's personal space. Mind y'all's business. Like y'all need to. I'm just not here for the fact that y'all are just very, very upset that this boy is about to get just due. What's wrong with that? I didn't hear nobody getting upset when Casey Allison got just due. First of all, he had a similar situation. Jose Ramirez was unfortunately who he unalived in a school bathroom. He poked him up multiple times. His bail was only $175,000. They didn't need no revisions. Carmelo's bail was $1 million. Casey bailed out and went home on house arrest. To this day, he's still waiting for his trial to start. Y'all just don't want black people to have the same freedoms and liberties as y'all. It's always been that way. Because y'all understand self-defense. Kyle Rittenhouse, y'all was calling him a hero. The people that stormed the Capitol, y'all calling them heroes. They got bailed out. We ain't even gonna talk about George Zimmerman. But y'all just don't want us to have just due. Y'all can't, that's tripping y'all out because y'all get to do whatever and y'all get lighter sentencing. Y'all used to that. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
There are 7 statements that Karmelo Anthony allegedly made on the day that he was arrested. 6 of these statements could potentially help or hurt his case. I'm going to tell you what these statements are in the order that I understood them from the police report, and I'm going to tell you how these statements could potentially help or hurt the case. All of these statements can be found on page 2 of the arrest report. His first statement was, "I was protecting myself." He said this as the resource officer Cortez was approaching him on the track. The second statement Karmelo said was no, and that was when resource officer Cortez asked him if he had any weapon on him. The third statement he made was when he said he put his hands on me, and Karmelo said this as Officer Cortez was walking him off of the track.
Yes, when I look at a lady like this, sounding this way, I weep because we still have a very long way to go. With all these crazy people like this, look at what she's saying here, quoting examples that don't even link up. Rittenhouse, with this situation, I don't see the relations. Look at the situation like this. She's not even really feeling for the family of this guy. Oh, people should mind their business. Then she is there still talking about it. You can see the hypocrisy in that. If you see someone that is so into race issues, this is how they sound. It has happened. The guy admitted. It is very normal for us to look deep into what is going on and try to bring a solution to this. Like I said, if you want to combat racism, the first solution is to stop talking about it. That is just how we can do. When I see people bringing this case with different kind of sentiment of skin color, that is what I don't want to see. It is not about race. The guy should face justice. He knows that he did something wrong, but people like this, just standing up to say, no, you were right. Insane, right? I appreciate people sharing out the clips. If you've not subscribed, please do that. And if possible, check if your notifications is on.
Lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address.
I don't like to see people who don't take accountabilities for their actions.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And according to the Bible, in the end days, good is going to be called evil and evil is going to be called good. And guess what? Now people are trying to say that what Karmelo Anthony did is good, and they're using race to do it.
I understand the kind of games they play every single time. Thank you guys for always being sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense, because if you are afraid the day before, well, you have to take them to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher, let's bring these kids in here and resolve this issue. It's called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case, because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor. Was it an aggressive act for him to go up and say, get away from the tent? Did he do more than that? My understanding was maybe he touched him and put hands on him. Granted, that makes the decedent in this case maybe the initial aggressor. But you really still then have to look at whether or not Karmelo Anthony responded with appropriate force.
Is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her.
She's even said all of those things.
Followers for anything, and then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man,
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to